Those, of course, are our big headlines on the news today on a day when Jharkhand has given a decisive verdict at the end of this long election year. On your screens right now, visuals from two different parts of India. Celebrations across Jharkhand after the Congress-JMM-RJD alliance dislodged the BJP from power, and images from Rajghat, where Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka and Sonia Gandhi have led a Congress protest satyagraha against the Citizenship Amendment Act. Has the opposition finally found a voice? Is today a day where the opposition believes it can finally recover from the stunning blow it suffered when the BJP scored a remarkable victory in the general elections? Let's today first play out what happened in Jharkhand, because that's really the story. Massive jolt to the BJP. The JMM Congress combined, set to storm to power in the state. Hemant Soren will be the new chief minister. The JMM doing remarkably well. Let's take a look at how the BJP lost out to the JMM Congress RJD combined in the battle for Jharkhand.
The Congress, JMM and RJD combined has dethroned BJP in Jharkhand. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha's Hemant Soren, who was once the youngest Chief Minister of India, is all set to become the 7th Chief Minister of the state. As results trickled in, Soren met his aging father, Shibu Soren, the patriarch of JMM.
झारखंड की जनता ने जो जनादेश दिया है, जो इस राज्य को स्पष्ट जनादेश दिया है, इसके लिए मैं राज्य के मतदाताओं का मैं बहुत बहुत आभार प्रकट करता हूं।
आहिस्ता आहिस्ता देश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक्सपोज होती जा रही है कि चाहे वो महाराष्ट्र हो, हरियाणा हो या झारखंड हो या कोई भी आने वाला दूसरा इलेक्शन हो, उसमें अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जीत मुमकिन नहीं।
Anti-incumbency got the better of Raghuvar Das, who suffered a major jolt from the BJP rebel Saryu Rai in Jamshedpur East seat.
मैं राज्य की 3.25 करोड़ जनता को साधुवाद देता हूं और मैंने 5 वर्ष पूरी ईमानदारी से राज्य की जनता की सेवा करने की कोशिश की। अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी हारती है तो मैं मानता हूं ये मेरी हार है।
The BJP paid the price of split with long-time ally AJSU and backlash from a section of 26% tribal votes. The ill-fated tenancy law aimed at acquiring tribal land for industry to alienated voters.
Hemant Soren is all set to become the Chief Minister of Jharkhand for the second time, and this time with a bigger mandate. His swearing-in ceremony is likely to take place in a couple of days' time, but the bigger challenge for him will be to provide a clean and a stable government. With camera person Nadeem Alam and Satyajit Kumar, this is Rohit Singh in Ranchi for India Today.
Okay, so there you have the Jharkhand victory. And what has this Jharkhand victory really done? This is the graphic that really will resonate today, because it shows how the map of India is changing. Take a look. The BJP's footprint from 2017, when they swept UP, remember, to now in 2019, where large parts of North, West and Central India have gone out of the BJP's grasp. From conquering 71% of the land mass, they are down to 35%. So the BJP at the state level has suffered almost a 50% erosion. This at a time, of course, when Narendra Modi has won his second big consecutive Lok Sabha election. What does this mean for national politics as we come to the end of 2019? Let's raise some of the big questions at the moment. Our questions tonight: is the BJP really on the back foot? NRC, Jharkhand lost. Is the BJP on the back foot? Is the Modi magic actually waning at the state level, as some suggest? Is there a new template for opposition unity of the kind that we saw in Jharkhand against the Modi-Shah combine? These are some of the questions that we'll raise tonight. Our election guests have been with us throughout. Dr. Manisha Priyam, Javed Ansari, Ajit Jha and Rahul Srivastav have been with us over the last 24 hours. We're coming to the end of a long day. I'm also joined from Kolkata by Swapan Dasgupta, the BJP's Rajya Sabha MP, Yogendra Yadav of the Swaraj Abhiyan, joined by Dinesh Trivedi of the Trinamool, Sambit Patra of the spokesperson. We'll also be joined shortly by Sanjay Jha, spokesperson of the Congress. But let's go across first to each of our guests to understand what they believe is the big story today. Swapan Dasgupta, what according to you is the big story of this dramatic day? Is it that the BJP has peaked out in a sense? The Modi magic at the state level is unable to lift up the BJP. Except Gujarat, the BJP hasn't bested anti-incumbency in any state in the last 2 years.
No, I think that broadly is the story, is that the BJP has to pay far greater attention to what might be called local brand management, that the national brand management is more or less intact, which was successfully demonstrated during the general elections. But subsequent to that, there has been a series of disasters, and even prior to that, there were a lot of assembly defeats, and therefore you need to work on a twin track. That really you have to have a local profile for the BJP in states which is sometimes complementary but sometimes often distinct from that of the national party. So this national party basically being a dominant party as of now, if you would seek to make it a dominant party, you must have an umbrella approach which might incorporate various things, not necessarily contradictory, but certainly different. And I think that's really what the whole thing is. And I think that's more important is the need to nurture local faces for everything and put the best local face forward at the time of the assembly elections. I think they're not sort of rocket science, what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that there has to be a greater degree of variety and a greater degree of internal diversity within the party. So it's really a question of creating an umbrella party rather than trying to see it in a sort of monolithic, sort of monochromatic way. I think that's really what it is.
Sometimes the question, of course, some people
just because Modi dominates, that doesn't necessarily, just because Modi is the accepted leader, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's basically a replication of the Modi model, which is there in the national, at the center, to the states. I mean, everything has its own variety. There are local cultures involved, and all these things. So that's really, I think, what I would say, that the BJP, in that sense, that if you are going to be a dominant party, then you must incorporate certain elements, the positive elements of what used to be called the old Congress system, whereby the regional aspirations can play within the national mold.
Let me bring Yogendra Yadav that, because it's interesting the way Swapan Dasgupta is now, in a sense, accepting almost the limits of this Modi model or the need to redefine it, find a new way to position it before a state election. Yogendra Yadav, is that all that there was to Jharkhand, or do you believe there is a fundamental change that's taking place in the back of what happened in Haryana in particular, to some extent in Maharashtra, that the BJP, in a sense, it may be dominant, but it's not a hegemonical party anymore? It cannot win state election after state election merely on the Modi name.
Rajdeep, the implications of today's results are far more important than possibly the intent of the voter and what went into the making of this verdict. Today's result has demonstrated once again a fallacy of reasoning, an assumption made by BJP, which was, look, we've won the national elections. State elections are a matter of course, we'll win them without much of an effort. It has proven once again that in this round, winning national election does not automatically lead to victory in the state elections. It has also shown that distractions like 370, like Ram Mandir, like the NRC cannot help you overcome the failure of governance at the state level. Remember,
Right.
this is
I'm going to come back to you, Yogendra, in a moment. I'm going to come back to you in a moment. The failures at the state level cannot be overcome in a way by what the centre claims it has done. Sambit Patra, is today a humbling experience? Will you be a little humbled by what's happened? The fact is that you were leading in 57 assembly segments out of 81 in Lok Sabha. It's come down to barely 26 just 6 months later, 25 6 months later. You've been halved, more than halved. Are you a little humbled this evening?
Rajdeep, as far as humility is concerned, humbleness is concerned, I believe that's a merit, and hubris is never a merit. We should always be humble, but that does not mean we should not take on those who try to spread canards. That does not mean we should not question those who try to spread misinformation and mislead the nation. We should always be facing the truth, whatever the circumstance may be. We may win, we may lose, but we should never let off our core agendas. So
those core agendas have been rejected. But some will say those core agendas have been rejected. You did not have a story to tell in Jharkhand because you didn't focus on local issues.
Okay.
The real local issues of Jal, Zameen, the issues of the tribals were forgotten. You went along with a more nationalistic agenda. It didn't work.
Rajdeep, first and foremost, most of the national channels, including yours, of the 45-minute speech of the Prime Minister or the National President, Mr. Amit Shah, you would show only a few tidbits here and there where they speak about the national issues. You're also aware of the fact, just a second. You also know of the fact that of the 45 minutes to 1 hour that our national leaders speak, most of the time is devoted to the regional issues, to the local issues, and rather sub-local issues also, depending on the place where they're speaking, where they're making the speech. But remember, since they're national leaders, they have to give out a message to the nation also and to the state as well, so they speak on national issues also. That's no harm. Elections are fought on national, on local and sub-local issues. But coming to a larger point, when you say that your core issues have been rejected, who said our core issues have been rejected? People have voted us to power with an overwhelming majority in 2019 because we had certain issues on the leaves of our manifesto. We promised them that we would abrogate Article 370. We talked about Ram Mandir, we talked about CAA, and that's the reason as to why people gave us 303 seats. And rightly pointed out by Yogendra Yadav also and by Swapan Das Gupta also. I mean, well, local factors are there in the debacle. I mean, election debacle can always be attributed to local factors. It's not that the national factors are playing for the kind of results that we have seen today.
Dr. Patra, I have limited time today. I want everyone to get equal time. The fact is that when you win an election, it's always credited to Chanakya, Shah and Superman Modi. But the moment it becomes a state election, Raghubar Das must take the flag. That seems to be the kind of narrative that's playing out at one level. Mr. Modi did campaign, Amit Shah campaigned aggressively, and it hasn't worked. But Yogendra Yadav, before your screen, the image froze, you were speaking about the disjunction between state and national elections. Can the opposition be exuberant, as some of them are? There seems to be an irrationality about that as well. This is a local election, hyper-local, fought on issues of tribal welfare, fought against anger against the local government.
Rajdeep, the first part of what I said was that from BJP must not assume that national election victory would result in state election victory. Similarly, the opposition must not assume that merely because BJP is being defeated in state elections, it is the beginning of the end of BJP, or BJP's popularity at the national level has ended, or something of that kind. That would be a very big political error if the opposition thinks that something of that kind is happening. There is a split ticket. These two levels have been separated, but yes, in terms of implications, something very, very important has happened, which is that the sheer political dominance, unchallenged political dominance, is beginning to be halted. There is a break on that, and I do expect two results of that. Number one, on NRC, the kind of confidence and arrogance that BJP had shown would be halted. We have already seen a bit of that in Prime Minister's speech yesterday, which was full of lies, but at least he was trying to retrace his steps. And number two, I do expect some of the economic agenda to come back. Issues of unemployment, issues of economic slowdown, issues of farmers' distress. The government would now be forced to address these issues more seriously than it has done so far. These are positives of an otherwise local election.
Okay, that's an interesting way again to put it, but Dinesh Trivedi, let's be honest, many believe the next big battle is Bengal, your state, and it comes in 2021. NRC-CAA, all of this will play out in Bengal. Do you believe that these elections are, state elections are localized? Will a Bengal election be just as localized as a Jharkhand would be, or will issues like NRC and CAA play out in Bengal?
Rajdeep, there is not much of time, so I'll be very crisp. To begin with, let me congratulate Hemant Soren. And this is not at all only a local issue. This is the victory of people. And very, very humbly, I must say, that historically, even if you look at the epic, the mighty Duryodhan, Kans and Ravan, why were they defeated? They were defeated because of arrogance. This is the victory of the people. And
are you referring to people as Kans and Ravan? No, 1 minute.
No.
This is the kind of language which
I'm talking about arrogance. No, I'm talking about arrogance. Because in their right, they were great people. Please understand, Ravan was a great person. They were all Pandits. But what defeated them was their arrogance. And somebody mentioned lies. When you go to Ramlila Maidan, and when say that 130 crore people, we have never talked about NRC. Now it was on the floor of Parliament. After the end of the debate, every one of us heard that the Honorable Home Minister says that after this CAA, the next is NRC. How blatantly. So people have reacted in the anger. So that the proverb say that you cannot fool all the people, all the time. And finally, I must tell you, Rajdeep, if you have a national election, I can tell you with whatever little experience I have, BJP will be defeated absolutely on the ground.
You know, 1 minute. You're saying 6 months after the BJP got 303 seats, if there was a national election, they'd be defeated. Swapan Dasgupta, you're hearing Dinesh Trivedi talk about hubris, talk about arrogance. Has there been an element of arrogance that crept in after that second big victory in May that has perhaps forced the BJP now will force the BJP into course correction?
Well, I'm glad Mr. Trivedi sort of refers to his fellow Gujarati as Ravan, or, compared to him as Duryodhan. But anyway, the point is that if you really look at it, and as for I'm addressing this question of lies, it was made very clear by Mr. Amit Shah when he mentioned the NRC in Parliament, and he did mention it, that I will bring it to you when the time comes. In other words, there was no design of the NRC which was there. So an imaginary NRC based on the Assam experience was made the basis of that. But leave that. I would say that NRC, or the entire issue of citizenship rather, which was there in the Citizenship Amendment Act, is not merely a national issue, it's a local issue in Bengal as well. And I think it's very important to realize that. To just call it a national issue.
I'm calling it a national issue. I'm going to play Swapan.
Piece of legislation.
No, Swapan, let me just play what Amit Shah.
This is principle. This is principally an issue which was.
You're saying it.
Let me just say that this was principally a piece of legislation which was done to benefit people in West Bengal and people who were of Bengali origin. Okay, so it has a very definite local, it has a very strong local orientation.
So to benefit, so for votes in Bengal,
it will not be the only thing which.
So for votes in Bengal, you've unleashed the genie.
It will not be the only.
You've unleashed the genie of All India NRC. Let's listen in Swapan Dasgupta to Amit Shah and Narendra Modi. Let's play that. Let's play that. Since you're saying that there is no contradiction.
You've just you've just settled. Rajdeep, I cannot help it. If you are Rajdeep, listen to me for a second. I cannot help it if you are willfully insensitive to the fact that partition also happened in eastern India. To you, partition was something which was exclusively for the Punjabis and the Sindhis and to lesser extent the Gujarati. It is something which happened in eastern India. It is an unattended issue, and I think the government of Narendra Modi has done absolutely right in trying to resolve this problem as much as possible. And that is something, and I believe that the Citizenship Amendment Act is something, by including those people who are hanging Trishanku-like and including them for citizenship, it is a very, very major progressive thing. And I do not understand the liberals of India who do not believe that these people deserve any attention.
So you believe, one minute. You believe it is confined to eastern India?
Of the CAA.
You believe it's confined to eastern India. It's an issue, therefore, which will play out locally in Bengal and Assam.
I believe that essentially.
Okay,
Let's listen to
Amit Shah and Narendra Modi.
This is essentially an eastern India issue.
Okay, it's an eastern India issue.
This is essentially an eastern India issue.
Please listen in then to the two leaders.
कि एनआरसी और इसको जोड़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. एनआरसी करेंगे तब स्पष्टता के साथ इसी प्रकार से इसी सदन में एक भी शब्द छोड़े बगैर मैं सबको इसकी भी जानकारी दूंगा. इसमें मुझे कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, मगर मानकर चलिए एनआरसी आने वाला है. एनआरसी बस कहीं पर भी एनआरसी शब्द पर कोई चर्चा नहीं हुई है, कोई बात नहीं हुई है. सिर्फ सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब कहा तो सिर्फ आसाम के लिए करना पड़ा.
In a sense, therefore, Dinesh Trivedi, what Swapan Dasgupta is saying and what some would say Amit Shah and Narendra Modi seemingly contrasting views reflect is that this is going to be about Bengal and Assam. I come back to you. Despite what has happened in Jharkhand, do you believe as we approach Bengal, the big battle, you will have to face the CAA NRC challenge?
We are absolutely certain that people of this country have rejected the lies, and absolutely clear that BJP is so scared of Mamata Banerjee's popularity that they have gone hammer and tong. Just for Bengal, they have started NRC without realizing the repercussions of it all over the country. Rajdeep, can you understand that Rahat Indori, when he said sabka khoon baha hai is dharti mein, I will not say next phrase because they'll amount to some kind of
no, it doesn't amount to anything. His next phrase is kisi ke baap ka Hindustan to thodi hai. That's what he says. My point is,
correct.
We've seen in Jharkhand, just a minute, sir. We've seen in Jharkhand local issues playing out. Is NRC also a local issue in places like Bengal and Assam? If elections are to be localized, do you believe NRC will become an issue in Bengal?
This is not NRC. Why do you say NRC?
Because the Home Minister and the President of India says so, Swapanda.
Act, which is now
please understand, Rajdeep.
Okay,
NRC is quite clear. It's quite clear it hasn't been designed.
Okay, NRC has not been designed.
Let me reply.
Then why did the President of India, in his address to both joint session of Parliament, why did the President of India and the Home Minister said NRC to jarur aayega? Why did they say that?
And the manifesto of the BJP.
There you are.
Who was designed it first?
You know, Rajdeep,
you need to control illegal immigration.
Okay, these issues.
But you haven't designed it yet.
Rajdeep.
Let us debate NRC when an NRC is designed.
Very quickly,
He
yes,
said
Dinesh
so
Trivedi.
quite explicitly.
Without debating it with the people.
Yes, Dinesh Trivedi.
Rajdeep.
Yes.
Rajdeep, please understand there is a silent, democratic, peaceful revolution has taken place. Mamata Banerjee was the first one, like demonetization. Mamata Banerjee flagged this issue against NRC because she has been in public life for more than 40 years, and she flagged this issue that this is going to divide the country, and we will not let this country divide. When the students, when the women, when we the people come out on the street, it is beyond politics. It is what democracy is all about. We the people, which is bigger than the parliament, because our preamble says
from the rhetoric.
that the authority of the constitution comes from we the people of India, and please understand the victory of we the people of India will be there, and that is why now they have realized to try to correct it. No, we never said NRC, but the cat is out of the bag. People
Rajdeep,
are not
can I
fooled.
please come in? If you allow me a few seconds of interjection.
All the people, all the time.
Okay, let Sambit Patra come in. Sambit Patra, remember
People
today
have rejected you. Somebody please understand.
No, people have rejected you. The
No
same
issues.
People,
we are debating today. That does not mean we should not be debating.
The same people voted the BJP 6 months ago in Jharkhand.
If you
Just
see,
a minute, sir.
from 72%,
Dinesh Bhai,
you have come 35%.
Mr. Dinesh Ji, a few seconds to me. Dinesh
Very
Ji.
quickly,
Thank you.
Sambit. Very quickly.
Rajdeep, look at the hypocrisy. Just a second. Look at the hypocrisy of these political parties. We have seen way back in 2005 as to how Mamata Banerjee had thrown a bunch of papers literally on the face of the Speaker of the Parliament, demanding as to why no political party, and particularly the government, is raising its voice against the illegal infiltrates. That time it was CAA, Ka La La, CAA, Kaka La La. And now suddenly she's saying Kaka Chichi, Kaka Chichi. From Kaka Lala to Kaka Chichi. People of Bengal are saying...
Sambit Patra,
Sir, this is not the way. Sir, I never interjected. I never interjected.
At the moment,
see, I have a very important question over here. Anyone can take this question. Dinesh Ji, you are a senior spokesperson, Dinesh Ji. This is not expected.
Yeah, what's your question? What's your question, Dr. Patra? Keep it sharp.
I have a very serious question. Anyone can take it.
Yes.
I mean, we have heard Dr. Manmohan Singh speak in 2003. I don't want to question that. But if you would be astonished, Rajdeep, that way back in 2003, after Manmohan Singh spoke and we had a debate in the parliament, in 2004, the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2004 was passed, according to which, in the states of Gujarat and Rajasthan, any Hindu, remember only Hindus who came from Pakistan and who willed to stay in India, could stay in India, and the citizenship would be granted by the respective collectors of the district.
What's your question,
you would be
sir?
astonished that though these rules were
What's your question, Dr. Patra?
Just hear me out. Hear me out for a 5 seconds period. Hear me out for 5 seconds period. Though this rule was for 1 year, but you would be astonished that Dr. Manmohan Singh extended this rule for 3 years. This rule that granting
you
only
made this
Hindus
point earlier. Can I come back to my election analysis, sir? If you have a question on the
why
elections,
this hypocrisy? No, earlier I have not got the answer. Have you answered me? As to why it was fine then.
The answer,
we have included 5 other religions, that's all.
Respond to him, Rajdeep.
Can I answer that?
yes, very quickly, Mr. Trivedi, and keep
Can
it
I
sharp,
answer
please.
that, Rajdeep?
Keep it short, please, Mr. Trivedi.
It's very clear from all the election results, it's very clear that at the moment, nobody is listening to BJP because they have realized they are
who said all this, Mr. Trivedi?
Lies,
no, who
and
said
they are
this?
not interested in lies.
No,
I've got more two sides.
Not the answers,
No more two Sanjay, there are other guests who have not spoken.
Please understand this country belongs to all of us.
Okay.
Who is BJP to question our nationality? Who is BJP to question our citizenship?
No, who
this
is questioning
country,
your nationality?
Everybody has given sacrifice.
No one is questioning
That's
your
why
nationality.
We are
We are
independent.
questioning the No, we are giving citizenship.
No,
we are giving
who are
citizenship
you to question anybody's nationality?
In fact, who?
Okay.
No,
Can
we
I-
are giving citizenship to those
No,
people
you
who have been
like
need to keep your debate
demonetization.
down.
You
Producer,
want
please keep the
everybody to
mic
stand
down.
in the queue.
Sanjay Jha, while they debate this, the fact is, yes, you've scored a victory today in Jharkhand, riding piggyback on the JMM. Can the opposition also really claim, as is being suggested by Dinesh Trivedi, that the BJP is finished? That today, if national elections are held, Mr. Modi will lose? This is the irrational exuberance, some say, of the opposition, which is part of the problem. The Congress has only ridden piggyback on the JMM today.
Rajdeep, I think when you have a coalition arrangement, an alliance, everyone piggybacks on the other. That is the very purpose of the entire understanding, that you rub off each other's advantages onto the other, consolidate your votes, and don't allow the opposition to benefit from any split. I mean, that's as logical as it can get. The second point which we need to recognize here is that the Bharatiya Janata Party has been defeated in Jharkhand, despite the fact that Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah repeatedly during the entire campaign, and I followed their speeches very carefully, they went and repeated everything that they have done in terms of just a few things. Article 370 of Jammu and Kashmir, they talked about NRC, Citizenship Amendment Bill, and even before the Ram Mandir verdict, they had actually begun to create some kind of a hullabaloo around that. Clearly it's boomerang, because ultimately, fundamentally, people want to know my roti kapra makan and bijli sarak pani issues. But since Sambit Patra is here and he was waxing eloquent on the Citizenship Amendment Bill, I have one question for him with your permission. Since Amit Shah is on record on NRC, and Mr. Modi yesterday tried to appear to give the image that he said it's not happening on an all-India basis, one of them is definitely lying to the people of India. I want to ask my friend,
let me answer that, Mr.
who is lying? Is it Mr. Modi?
Oh, I've got the question.
Or is it Mr. Amit
Okay,
Shah?
let me answer
and let
that.
him take a position and answer that.
No,
Yeah.
I
Let
think
me
Swapan Dasgupta has
Let
already
me
taken a
answer.
position saying that CAA is limited
let me answer
to
that.
Eastern
Since he
India.
has asked me
But I'll
directly,
give
let
you
me
30
answer that.
seconds, only 30 seconds, Dr. Patra.
See, as far as NRC is concerned, as far as NRC of Assam is concerned, the position
the
is clear.
bigger
It is from
liar
the
between
Supreme
the
Court and the Assam Accord. As far as NRC in India is concerned, well, Swapan Dasgupta was extremely right when he said that, do we have the draft of NRC? I mean, has NRC been discussed as to how it is going to be presented on the floor of the parliament? That the opposition is constantly misleading the country, misinforming the country that the Muslims would be relegated into the second position, that they would be pushed out of the country. That is what the Prime Minister was clarifying. That since no draft has come, since the NRC has not been applied across the country as of now, nothing has been discussed on the floor of parliament.
30 seconds
no one has seen anything of the NRC as of now.
Your 30 seconds are up.
30 seconds are up.
Yeah, your 30 seconds are up. I gave you
others, for others, you don't have this Kaun Banega Crorepati contest.
No,
for me, why do you have this 10 seconds, 30 seconds and 20 seconds?
Okay.
Rajdeep.
Okay, just a minute, Dr. Patra. Don't get, the fact is at the end of the day, I want to show a graphic. The graphic is about Citizenship Amendment Act during Jharkhand. Remember, it was brought into Parliament and debated and passed halfway through the campaign. Now, I am not suggesting by any view that it had any impact on the Jharkhand elections. But this is just a number, hard number. Before CAA was passed, the BJP won 33% of the seats, Congress 50%. After the CAA was passed, that is round 4 and 5, the BJP goes up marginally to 42, the Congress remains 52. You can't make any great assumptions based on Jharkhand, whether CAA has been rejected or accepted by the people there. RPN Singh is joining me at the moment, the man who is one of the men of the match for the Congress, who was their General Secretary in charge. RPN Singh, we're trying to understand what shifted the Jharkhand election and whether we can take any big national takeaway. Is there a national takeaway to you, or was this a hyper-localized election?
Well, Rajdeep, I just want to say this. The issues that were raised in Jharkhand are the very same issues which concern every citizen of this country. That's about unemployment, that's about distress to farmers, it's about small shopkeepers bleeding, corruption. We have seen social welfare schemes not working on the ground. These were the issues that we went to election on. And these are the very issues which touch every Indian. It is extremely unfortunate that the Prime Minister does not even acknowledge that these are problems of this country. And I can tell you, in Jharkhand, these are the problems that people were really angry about. And these are the very same problems that every Indian in our country is concerned about. And the Prime Minister does not even acknowledge. So in that way, in that sense, these are local issues, but these are the same very issues which touch every Indian.
But how is it that 6 months ago, the Prime Minister was able to score such a big victory in Jharkhand? The BJP won 11 out of 14 with Ajsu won 12, and suddenly it gets reversed 6 months later. Am I to understand, therefore, that the voters of Jharkhand saw two completely different elections? They wanted Hemant Soren in Ranchi, they want Prime Minister Modi in Delhi. To that extent, those who are writing the obituary of the BJP today, like Dinesh Trivedi, perhaps are overreading this verdict.
No, Rajdeep, if you come to think of it, in the Lok Sabha elections, whenever the Prime Minister or the Home Minister come for any election campaign, they try to distract and divert from the real issues. If you see the Lok Sabha election, all issues that touch the people of India were completely swept under the carpet, and Balakot and nationalism were what took the whole country's imagination. And the real problems were swept away, and that is why it's just after that, when we seen the elections, where they could not play out that distraction and diversionary tactics of the problems of Jharkhand, they failed. And the country has very clearly understood the strategy of the BJP. Whenever there are elections, they try to divert and distract from the real issues. And I think the people have realized that, and that is why they have understood the modus operandi of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. And I think that is what's going to now cost them election after election.
What is the BJP, what is the Congress's strategy though? Let's be clear, the Congress piggybacked on the JMM. Is there a deeper strategy that you will have to piggyback on smaller, on regional forces, not smaller parties, but smaller regional forces to try and combat the BJP? That alliance arithmetic will be as important now for you as chemistry.
No, well, Rajdeep, I just like to correct you there. The seats that we are contesting in Jharkhand were all the urban and semi-urban seats. We have performed the best in 19 years. The best performance of the Congress party has been in this election. And in the cities and the semi-urban cities where JMM doesn't have such a wide base, we were given all those seats. And this kind of the story that we hear that the BJP is very strong in cities and in semi-urban cities, that is where we have primarily won these seats. And we have won seats which we have not won for 40 years. So if you look at it, these urban and semi-urban cities which were known as BJP bastions, those are the seats which were given to us, and those are the seats we have won, and we have had a strike rate of over 50%.
And interestingly, without any Rahul Gandhi campaigning aggressively or the Gandhi sort of being projected, it appears that the Congress can live without the Gandhi family and win elections with the likes of RP and Singh doing work on the ground.
No. You know, it's all a teamwork. Mr. Gandhi canvassed extensively in Jharkhand. He did 5 rallies. He did rallies for Congress candidates. He did rallies for JMM candidates. So it is not that he didn't work very hard. Wherever we asked him to come, he was present, and he drew large and huge crowds which people haven't seen before in Jharkhand.
Okay. It's interesting the way you're putting it. Clearly, the Congress appears to have found at least its voice. We don't know whether it's going to translate into more election victories, but for now, today, the Congress and RP and Singh in particular have much to celebrate. I appreciate your joining us. Dinesh Trivedi, Sambit Patra, all of you hold on. When we return, I'm going to ask you, as I often do, a song. It's election day. Do you all have a song for me, including my studio guests who've been with us all day? Think of a song that represents this election year 2019. If you have one and you have a voice, you listen to all of us. In a year like no other, an election year like no other, Narendra Modi's big victory in the Lok Sabha, the opposition clawing its way back in the state elections. Time for songs. We've had a lot of analysis from the morning. I'm going to ask each of my guests to tell me a song that best depicts either today or the year that has been in election terms. Manisha Priyam.
I'm breaking out in localism. Chhaua man ke johar. You meet a Jharkhandi anytime, they'll say johar and they'll sing Hum Dekhenge, the famous lines by Faz. I think that's
really? For Jharkhandis, Hum Dekhenge by Faz. Ajit Kumar Jha.
You know, I have the same song on 2 sides. For the Congress, Ye Dostti Hum Nahi Chhodenge. For the BJP, Dost Na Raha, Pyar Na Raha.
Okay, so you believe the alliance arithmetic has gone wrong. Javed Ansari.
I'll take a leaf out of Ajit Jha's book. One for the Congress and JMM. Bade dino ke baad gali mein aaj chand nikla.
And gaon na? Bade dino ke baad.
You are from Bombay, I am not from Bombay.
And the other one?
And the other one for Amit Shah and the BJP.
Yes. Batao.
For Amit Shah and the BJP.
Bhul gaya.
I forgot.
Okay, when you remember, you tell us. Rahul Srivastav.
Rajdeep, at a moment where the BJP and Narendra Modi and Amit Shah find themselves, I think they need to learn a lesson that they need to have a bigger heart.
What
bigger
is the
heart
song?
And I will not recite a song, but there is a Bashir Badr poem which I think they should sometimes read it. And he says that Khuda humko aisi khudai na de कि अपने सिवा कुछ दिखाई न दे।
अरे वाह, क्या बात है।
Very nice. Okay, Sambit Patra, RPN Singh.
I have found.
Oh, he's found his song. Oh, yes. What is it?
It's from Umrao Jan.
What is it? Tell me the song.
Yes.
Come on.
दिल के अरमा आंसुओं में बह गए.
दिल के अरमा आंसुओं में बह गए. Okay. RPN Singh and RPN, you are in a joyful mood. Patra is always joyful. Songs from both of you that depicts your mood. RPN, you have a song that depicts your mood today?
Rajdeep, I'm very sorry, but I just can't hear I just can't hear what you all saying in the studio.
Okay,
it's coming very muffled, so I have no idea what you're talking
Okay, I was hoping for a song from you, a victory song. Do you have a victory song?
Well, I don't know any victory song, but all I can say is we have many miles to go before we, you know that Robert Frost poem, don't you?
Okay, Robert Frost poem. Okay, Dinesh Trivedi, you have a song, you are a singer. Go ahead.
वह नेताजी सॉन्ग कदम कदम मिलाए जा खुशी के गीत गाए जा ये जिंदगी है देश की तू देश पे लुटाए जा.
अरे वाह.
I have changed the word from cob to desh.
Patra, you have a song for us, Dr. Patra?
राजदीप, हम आज नहीं गाएंगे, हम कल गाएंगे, आज इन्हें गाने दो.
अरे वाह, चलिए. Everybody is in a mood for shairi and their one-liners. We've had a long year. It's been a remarkable year, a year where once again the India Today Axis My India poll has got the election spot on. My take. The Jharkhand elections result should be a wake-up call to the BJP leadership. The resounding defeat is a signal of the limits of the Modi-Shah model of politics. By excluding allies, taking in tainted candidates, imposing CMs from non-dominated castes, the BJP has demonstrated an arrogance in power which ensured it was unable to offset anti-incumbency against the Raghubar Das government. The tribal vote in particular seems to have deserted the BJP, with its state government unable to address contentious land and forest right issues. Just relying on Modi magic every time won't work, nor will narrow nationalism work in a hyper-localized state election. NRC-CAA, Article 370, Ram Mandir may get you the headlines, they don't always get you votes, especially in a slowing economy. The BJP is still India's #1 party, but it isn't beatable. And if the BJP is not invincible, then neither are the Gandhis indispensable to the Congress. More than an obsessive attachment to a family, a strong local alliance that works for the opposition, especially when the arithmetic matches the chemistry. In the end, let's celebrate our democracy in 2019. The same voter who voted for Mr. Modi in May has voted against the BJP in December. Which leaves me with my song. Ye public hai, ye sab janti hai. That's going to be my song from that film Roti. Ye public hai, ye sab janti hai. That's why we are, in our own messy way, still a pretty great democracy. Thanks for watching. Have a great Christmas.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.